Hello, Internet. This is BoneCarlos coming to you live with the StarCraft 2 commentary. Forgive me if I'm going to be a bit slow since I haven't eaten and I am hungry. Thank you, GreenMachine. Good luck to you as well. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Players spawning in about the 3 o'clock position. We have a GreenMachine spawning as the purple Zerg. Too bad he wasn't green because then he would have matched, right? Right? Anybody? Anybody out there? Nobody? Oh well, too bad. And then we have a Xenocider spawning as the orange Terran in about the 5 o'clock position, 4 o'clock position, I would say. Now, unfortunately, this isn't going to be a complete coldcast for me, seeing as how this is my 4th attempt at trying to cast this. The first time, computer error just crashed. Second time, it wasn't it didn't save for some reason. Audio didn't save for some reason. And then the third time, I didn't push the record button, but I continued to cast anyway. So, LOL. This is my 4th cast, so I already know what happens. But unfortunately, that's unfortunate for me. But for you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and try to do my best of being excited about the whole thing. So, I already introduced the players, but what is unknown is that what you guys don't know is that both of them are Masters level players. So I do believe Xenocider is in about the 60-something, 60-ish in his league, while GreenMachine is about the 14th in his league. I might have them reversed, I might have them right, but either way, I take full fault for those numbers, or for me saying that. But right into the game, you actually see the APM is about average 4 Masters League players, and we actually see the scouting SCV goes in the right direction, completes that scout off, and notices that there is no spawning pool as of yet, so he feels pretty safe, and he just goes ahead and putting down his early barracks, not even really early, I mean barracks at normal time, and just decides to build that marine right away. Otherwise, you see this SCV kind of just patrolling the forward base of the GreenMachine's main hatchery. Not really doing too much as of yet. His natural expansion is about 50% done. As soon as that one gets underway, I'm going to go ahead and see a macro up with those drones. We actually see a refinery already down for Xenocider a bit early, and Norval Command already completed. So very interesting to see this single refinery right here. It's not going to be any kind of cloak banshee places. There isn't a second one yet. More than likely going to go ahead and take up into mass marine marauder kind of thing. While Xenocider decides to build a proxy bunker. Too bad it has been spotted. This SCV does go down, and with these 4 drones here, it's going to go ahead and just ignore that bunker. No big deal. My headset completely fell off the desk just now. I don't want to break those, or those are a tad expensive. Go ahead, Kitty, watch over that part. The spawning pool is done, and as you can see, a couple of lanes are already out, and they're going to go ahead and take down this bunker, and I'm pretty sure that Xenocider is going to go ahead and cancel that to make sure he doesn't lose any of those minerals. There it is. He went ahead and saved himself about 75%. We should see kind of an awkward wall-off for Xenocider. If he would have just built this barracks, this initial barracks here, he could have completed that wall-off no problem and prevented any kind of scouting from that initial drone. That initial drone actually went kaputski, while in Xenocider's space, we should see a very interesting play. We actually see the swap factory barracks, so we're going to definitely see some Hellion harassment since 2 Hellions are going to be produced at the same time, while a starport is going down. So a 1-1-1 build up against a Zerg going for now. I know it's very powerful up against Protoss, but I'm interested to see if it's going to be do as well against Zerg. And as you can see, we actually see an SCV here gearing up to take an expansion, so more than likely it's just going to be Hellion harass straight into an early expansion. And we see that Swamp is going to go down on this tech slab, so more than likely going to go ahead and go straight into those cloaked banshees. So very interesting. Xenocider is going to pull off a double harassment with double producing Hellions with a cloaked banshee. And you can see cloak is already on the way, while these 2 banshees are pushed out by these 3 queens. I mean, right now he is gearing up to put down an extra spine crawler, but it looks like these banshees are sturdy enough to be able to just run by these 2, 3, and 4 queens. So it's going to go ahead and straight in GreenMachine's main mineral line. Let's see how many kills he is actually able to pull off. So far, it's 1 kill on the 1 Hellion, 1 kill on the other. A couple of more bursts go down, and 2 kills on that one, 2 kills on the other. Let's see if this one is able to get any more kills. And no other kills. So about 5 kills. Actually, it was 4 kills between those two Hellions. The fifth one was that drone that I just got killed off by these two Marines. While it looks like Xenocider finally decides to take his natural. So a bit of a toss-up. Minerals pretty much the same for losing those two Hellions and taking out 4 drones. But I would say that's still in the favor of Xenocider, since drones are very important for Zerg, especially early game. And it looks like the cloak is almost done about 90%. And once that cloak gets down, these Banshees are going to be able to do a ton of damage, especially since GreenMachine has no form of detection. I mean, he's building up another hatchery. His initial hatchery isn't even a layer yet, so no detection is going to be on the way anytime soon. And as soon as that Banshee gets into the GreenMachine's natural, he has cloak up and running. So this makes me believe that he has practiced this build over and over again to knock it down perfectly. And the evolution chamber is about 75% done, but still, this Banshee with cloak is going to have free reign on these drones for quite some time. And as you can see, he already has 6 kills. I mean, the evolution chamber is down, and the Sport is down for GreenMachine, but this Banshee is going to get a lot of kills in the meantime. I mean, you can see the actual cloak over here, while decloak can still get a couple of kills, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's moving towards the edges, making sure he doesn't take any damage on this Banshee, or as much damage as he can. And look at that, 15 kill Banshee. While at the same time we see another Hellion harassment going on, so multiple harassments caused by Xenocider. Looks like Xenocider or GreenMachine's mother but no problem. He is a master surgeon. He went ahead and swapped it out with Spell, and he got the very with those Hellions, and one had about 3 kills, another had 4, so the harassment is huge. Actually decides to cloak up and take down this Spinecrawler run for them. That's after the attack. He's gonna go ahead and hang out, take out the Spinecrawler, make sure he's on with that Hellion harassment, make sure that that Spinecrawler is hits. And as you can see, this bench is just gonna go ahead and follow these roaches while they take down these destructible rocks. Go ahead and get them 3 kills. Try to do a ton of economic damage, both on the drone count and free kills on any kind of offensive units that GreenMachine has. And GreenMachine actually takes down the destructible rocks and decides to send these Banshees on a wild goose chase to minimize losses on his drone count. So as you can see, the units loss tab is almost 5 times that GreenMachine actually has it. As of right now, he's actually shoring up his defense, making sure he has Sport Crawlers at every possible angle, while making sure he has those queens up front to repel any kind of Hellion that he decides to push forward. And as of right now, it looks like Xenocider is doing a great job of doing a bunch of harassment, but he's not macroing up that well. I mean, he has his expansion down, but it's not saturated at all. And as we can see, he's actually producing Thors, and he already has the Infernal Pre-Igniter going down for those Hellions, so we're going to have Blue Flame Hellions backed up with Thors and Banshees. Very interesting choice, especially if it catches GreenMachine off balance. And from what you can see, he's actually trying to do as much damage as possible with his Banshees to make sure that GreenMachine has no huge army to counteract those Thors. But with 3 hatcheries and a 4th already underway, I'm anxious to see if Xenocider could actually catch GreenMachine off guard, because if he waits a little bit too long, GreenMachine can actually have a nice-sized army of his own before these swords actually are be able to attack in mass. And as you can see, this Overlord, the response to these swords is live on the campaign, where the scouting purposes are completed, so I'm pretty sure GreenMachine knows exactly what's going on. And as you can see, he's actually getting a Spire, which is the greatest thing to do. I mean, there was plans before he spotted those swords. Obviously, still, I'm interested to see if he actually goes through with that, or if he decides to switch it off and decides to do something else. As we can currently see, he's actually droning up quite heavily, and he's actually decided to take a forward. So he says, Thors? What Thors? No big deal. It's not an Odin, so I'm just going to go ahead and expand. And as you can see in the units tab, he actually has 2 roaches and 5 queens, while Xenocider has 8 Hellions, 2 Thors, and 3 Banshees in those initial couple of Marines that he built. So if Xenocider decides to push right now, it could spell big trouble for GreenMachine. As we can see in the production tab, he still hasn't even producing any kind of offensive units whatsoever. It looks like these few are going to be taken out. There is a scan going down for some unknown reason, probably just checking out to make sure if there's any kind of infested or anything like that. That was 8 Mutilix being produced. So normally I would expect great if you're being harassed and you feel like you're trying to get some harassing units of your own. But if he spotted those stores, that's actually a terrible unit to go for. But as we can see, an Overseer is going to go ahead and spot these Banshees. Going to go ahead and right click to follow, and these Mutalisks are actually going to mop up all these Banshees. So those more than likely that's probably why he got those Mutalisks, to take care of those Banshees and also to do any kind of anti-harassment or harassment of his own. But as you can see, Xenocider has his nice little gang of Hellions, but these roaches are actually going to look going quite nicely alongside decided to scurry on back, says I don't want any part of this right now. I'm just going to go ahead and get together with my units, and 11 just popped and 13 more roaches are on the way. So whether or not they actually do any kind of damage in the upcoming battle is to be seen. And the Queen and a roach is completely off guard. The roach is finally decided to push forward, try to do as much damage as possible, while the Mutalisks actually push forward as well. And there's actually quite a bit of a surround behind the bit of a missile while the forces attacking each other. And these stores are actually going. It looks like these stores are actually going to get taken down. It didn't look like there was any kind of transfusion done by any of the Queen. But who needs transfusion when we've got 17 talented drones to build at exactly the same time? So great play by GreenMachine, even though we did lose a ton of drones by this little split off attack that Xenocider did. He actually managed to destroy those 4 Thors, and it looks like these Hellions are actually going to do as much damage as possible. And GreenMachine actually decides to line up those drones for him, quite a bit of damage. So after that attack, I'm not curious to see this unit loss tab is about half in the actual unit's loss tab, but the resources is actually evened up, so losing those Thors is actually huge as it allows GreenMachine to actually feel on even kilter with him in those resources lost, and he actually decides not to do anything prudent just yet. He doesn't want to push too forward and lose his only defense that he really has, and it looks like GreenMachine is actually quite broke. Losing all those drones is really hurting him at the moment. I mean, his main is almost done. His natural is a bit saturated, while there is just more Hellion harassing all over the place. Let's see another Hellion with 5 kills, 7 kills now, and it looks like he might get on a couple more. No, he doesn't manage to get on that next shot, but another Hellion with 7 kills, while this 4th isn't even really mining, so it's really about 2.5 mining bases, really about 2, since neither of them are fully saturated versus Xenocider's 1 and 2 fully, 2 mining bases versus 2 mining bases, while it looks like Xenocider isn't even deciding to go for his actually going up and getting siege tanks with siege mode already underway. So very interesting choice. I mean, siege tank and siege mode is actually going to directly counter these roaches. I mean, a few 5, 6 siege tanks will actually decimate tons of roaches, and as you can see, it looks like Xenocider finally decided to take his foot and go ahead and take down this Scorpion block quite easily, take down this Scorpion very quickly as well, and he's actually gearing up, and his command center is actually almost done, so it's just going to go ahead and lift off and land here, and it's going to be okay, and you can see a Raven actually going down. Very interesting choice. I'm not knowing why he's getting that. Maybe he's just making sure there's no kind of infested infestors just burrowing underneath, or tunneling claws upgrade for the roaches actually give them the movement to move while below. I'm sure that's why he's getting that. So yeah, that or the Hunter Secret Missile. If you actually watched one of my previous games, Hunter missiles against those Zerg units are actually quite potent. As we can see a little poke around by GreenMachine. That's 5 Mutalisks trying to take down this requirement, but as soon as these cores get within range, so she's going to force these Mutalisks to just turn back. I mean, one Mutalisk goes down. If he's not careful, he can lose another and another. There's another Mutalisk go down, and the 3rd is almost taken out, while minimal losses were sustained by Xenocider. So I'm actually very interested to see how this game turns out. Quote unquote spoiler alert, I already know how this game turns out, but I'm actually very surprised that Xenocider is going pure mech up against Zerg, since a lot of the pros and the higher tier players actually say that mech versus Zerg isn't the way to go. So, and as we can see so far, it's actually working quite well for Xenocider, even though his macro game did slip a little bit. He's actually doing very well with that harassment. I mean, double the units killed and about 2,000 minerals more on his opponent. So So far so good for Xenocider. He's actually building quite himself a nice little nest egg of units and making sure there's no sneakiness with this sensor tower. And as you can see, GreenMachine is doing as much as possible to hold back any kind of expansion by GreenMachine by placing these units all over the map and just making sure there's no kind of secret expansion, hidden expansion around anywhere. Because let me tell you, if a Terran just gets a secret base on you, it is just the worst feeling in the world, because you're just throwing units at his base, just you're up, and it seems like you're up a base. I mean, you have your 3 bases, and he has his 2 that you know of, and then all of a sudden you're just wondering where all these units are coming from. You scatter around and you spot a secret expansion that you had no idea was there. It's just a terrible feeling. Another terrible feeling is actually having a blue flame hellion in your mineral line. As you can see, one has 3 kills, one has 6 kills, 9. So the harassment still going strong for Xenocider, making sure that GreenMachine doesn't get that drone advantage. Because once a Zerg player gets about those gets anywhere from those 60 to 80 drones, he's able to just hit you with wave after wave of units, and you never want to be on the receiving end of a 300. That is not fun, no matter what race you are. And as you can see, GreenMachine decided to just continuing to macro up. I mean, he's getting ready to take his 5th base, and that's just very, very interesting since he has quite a huge force of units in his national. And siege tanks are bombarding it from a distance, while this single Banshee gives him sight of the upper ground. And as of right now, he's just going to go ahead and just park this and take this line out of his zone. I would actually like to see him push forward, and if he actually parks these siege tanks right here, he'll actually be able to shell the natural safe distance. And as you can see, the Roach are there to make sure that if any kind of unsieged or siege happens, he'll be able to just swoop forward and attack and take them by surprise. But instead, he actually decides to push forward, catching the single siege tank out of position. 3 siege tanks, 3 siege tanks are taken down. A couple of Vikings are there to take care of these corruptions, while Brood Lords, secret Brood Lords, are actually on the field of play. And these Lords are actually having a tough time deciding if these Brood Lords to mopping up the ground forces quite well. I mean, there are a couple of Vikings on the field of play, and that's actually a huge for GreenMachine. Even though he was able to pick up an entire ground forces of the Xenocider, these 2 Vikings are actually going to be able to take down quite a bit of Brood Lords. As you can see, there's already 5 kills among them, and that is all Brood Lords. Maybe a couple of corruptors were taken down, since they do have a few some health knocked out from them. And as you can see, there is no anti-air on the field for GreenMachine except for these lone Mutalisks. And with that, he has no choice but to push forward into the latest expansion of Xenocider. But with the Planetary Fortress and Thor's as backup, it's actually an interesting choice. GreenMachine is left against the wall. He's bombarding continuing with the Banshees and the Vikings, and there's just too much trouble for GreenMachine to handle, so he's going to go ahead and but not want to lose a bunch of Brood Lords. I mean, this Brood Lord is going to go down, and there's only a couple more. There is actually 5 corrupted on the field, but it's a little too late. That huge Brood Lord army that GreenMachine had, he had about an excess of 5, 6, 7, 8 Brood Lords, is down to only. So a ton of resources lost, and as you can see, 14,000 lost for GreenMachine and 158 units lost as well. So quite a bit of just back and forth in that battle. Not sure who I would say came out on top, really, since GreenMachine lost a ton of Brood Lords unnecessarily. And as you can see, he's actually gearing up to get a few more. He actually only has enough money for 1. And we actually see Roaches here just planting out in the middle willy-nilly, and we actually see more alien harassment going by Xenocider. We actually see him attacking, and another Spire actually going down by GreenMachine. So double upgrade is going to go see, but not a lot. I mean, there's a single BoneCarlos here for defense, but that's not going to do anything up against high values. There's 7 right there. And that easily just takes care of any and all drones in this expansion. And as we can see, all of Xenocider's CPs were taken down. I mean, they were caught completely with their pants down. This Roach army completely took down all of those SCVs. It looked like there was an excess of 30 SCVs there. I'm actually interested to see how many he actually did lose. He actually lost a lot. He only has 33 SCVs currently, so a good half of his SCVs were taken down taken out in that attack, and that was huge. So they're pretty much not even on even kill. As you can see, there's about half the mining going down between the two players. So even though Xenocider was doing a bunch of damage with these Hellions, and he's still continuing to do damage with those Hellions, that one mistake may have cost him the game, since he is on even footing as of right now. We actually see another huge push going in by GreenMachine with revamped Broodlord army and with a bunch of corruptors that are actually getting taken down. That entire corruptor force was taken down by these force. Wow, that is a huge mistake. These Vikings are going to take down the corruptors and these Broodlords quite easily. They're going to push forward and do as much damage as possible, but not until there is nothing that can stop these Vikings from pushing out the Broodlord army. GreenMachine knows that time to push forward with all of his roaches. Sees sieging up and decides and says, you know what, you can't attack me if I am right next to you. And finally, GreenMachine pushes forward and is completely in Xenocider base. This could be the deciding factor in the game. If it is, it's going to be all these structures. It will pretty much be all of his channels. It looks like he is busy elsewhere, trying to do just damage control right now. He's actually losing. He actually lost a lot. Goes trying to push forward, more than likely going to take out the entire base. I mean, he takes out all this flank, he put Xenocider in a world of hurt, and GreenMachine actually decides to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and press my advantage and attack your planetary fortress with a Zerglings and Roaches. It looks like there is enough units to take down this planetary fortress. They're doing their best to heal this up and keep it up and running for as long as possible. The planetary fortress already has 8 kills in its range. While GreenMachine is trying to push forward and he's trying to take down the SCVs, and the planetary fortress does go down. So Xenocider is down to only two command centers as of right now, while GreenMachine is completely Xenocider's base, and Xenocider decides, you know what, now's the best time to counterattack with my Hellions. Now, Hellions are great for harassment, but the only problem is they do not take buildings down quickly. So even though he will be able to take down most and almost all of these drones, GreenMachine can actually just sit back, do as much damage to Xenocider as possible with these roaches, while just hoarding these minerals and letting the Hellions do as much damage as possible, and vamping up with his drones, no problem. And it looks like that's exactly what GreenMachine is going to do. He already put that man, he's just going to go ahead and let these decides to head on back and just scatter around to make sure to try to find those starports. He finds them, everything is counted, and it looks like this is it. I mean, I don't even think the Xenocider even he has a single base, but has 0 harvesters. So he does have a nice stockpile of minerals, and this command center actually can't even be morphed into orbital command. He doesn't have a barracks. He has nothing else. He has these starports, has no SCVs. Got some nice, I mean, just a squad of Vikings, but that is it. I mean, more than likely he has tech labs on these starports, and looks like he's gearing up to get some more Banshees. But as of right now, there's nothing else he can do. I mean, he could continue this harassment. He's actually being able to take care of all of that as of right now. This is actually pretty much done. This is over. It should be GG Xenocider. I mean, he's going to decide to stick forward, do as much damage with these Vikings as possible, to be able to hold back. I mean, even if he does continues producing these Banshees, I mean, 6, 7, 8, 9 Banshees won't be able to stop this entire force of roaches. I mean, these roaches could just swarm about the map, pick off structures willy-nilly until there is nothing left for Xenocider. So, in my opinion, this game is over. Xenocider should just GG out of it, but he's just going to go ahead and continue to harass, engaging in a fight, really, between Helos and Viking. I think Helos are going to go down, but that's just putting a band-aid on a life wound, as it were. And it looks like GreenMachine finally finds the last remaining decide to take them on. So that's it. I'm calling it done. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave comments down below on what I could do to make these more enjoyable for you. Also, if there's a particular replay that you want me to do, leave it down below. Leave the link down below. It's one of the major StarCraft 2 replay sites. So leave that link. I'll go ahead. I'll the caption for you and upload them. And